Imagine you're planning your dream vacation, only to discover that your chosen destination is now off-limits. For UK citizens in 2024, this situation is increasingly common as many countries that once welcomed British travellers are now restricting access. Before we dive into the specifics, welcome to the Traveller's Tube, your go-to source for exploring fascinating destinations worldwide. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and activate the bell icon so you never miss an update. Let's aim for 500 likes and subscribes on this video. Let's dive in as we explore the top 10 countries where UK citizens can no longer visit in 2024. Starting our countdown at number 10, we have Afghanistan. Once a sought-after destination for adventurers and history enthusiasts, Afghanistan has become extremely perilous for UK travellers. The return of the Taliban has led to significant instability, marked by escalating violence and terrorism. The UK government has strongly advised against all travel to Afghanistan due to risks including kidnappings and bombings. British nationals are urged to leave immediately, as consular support is severely limited. The Taliban's rigid interpretation of Islamic law also increases risks for women and minorities. With the threat of attacks on foreigners having surged by over 50% since 2023, Afghanistan tops the UK's do not travel list. 9. Myanmar. Myanmar, known for its rich cultural heritage, has grown increasingly hostile toward UK citizens. Following the 2021 military coup, the country has plunged into chaos, characterized by widespread protests, violence, and human rights abuses. The UK government advises against all but essential travel due to the severe risks posed by the military regime's brutal crackdown. The tourism industry is in shambles, and the regime's tight control over communication networks further complicates staying connected. Myanmar remains highly dangerous due to ongoing civil unrest and regime control. 8. Syria. Syria, renowned for its historical and cultural significance, has been engulfed in a brutal civil war since 2011. The UK government advises against all travel due to high risks of terrorism, kidnapping and military conflict. Much of the country is devastated, and groups like ISIS continue to operate. The severe humanitarian crisis, including displacement and lack of basic services, further exacerbates the risks. The unpredictable violence and absence of diplomatic relations make Syria an extremely risky destination for UK citizens. 7. Yemen. Yemen, once an adventurous destination, has become one of the most dangerous places in the world. The ongoing civil war, which started in 2015, has resulted in a severe humanitarian crisis. The UK government advises against all travel due to risks including terrorism, armed conflict and lawlessness. The conflict between Houthi rebels and the Yemeni government has led to widespread violence, and the country's infrastructure and healthcare system are in disarray. Frequent violence and high kidnapping risks make Yemen extremely perilous for travellers. 6. Iran. Iran, with its rich history, has grown increasingly hostile toward UK citizens. Deteriorating diplomatic relations have resulted in stricter travel restrictions and heightened tensions. The UK government advises against all but essential travel due to risks of arbitrary detention, political instability, and limited consular assistance. The Iranian government's crackdown on dissent has led to numerous arrests of foreigners, often on charges of espionage or subversion. Strict Islamic laws and anti-Western sentiment add to the risks, making Iran a high-risk destination in 2024. 5. Haiti. Haiti, known for its vibrant culture, has become increasingly unsafe for travellers. The country's persistent political instability has reached a critical point. The UK government advises against all travel due to significant risks of kidnapping, armed violence and civil unrest. Gang violence has surged, with neighbourhoods controlled by criminal groups. Law enforcement is ineffective, and infrastructure issues compound the dangers. Ongoing political crises and widespread protests make travel within Haiti highly hazardous. 4. Somalia. Somalia, plagued by decades of civil war and instability, remains one of the most dangerous places globally. The UK government has long advised against all travel to Somalia, and the situation remains dire in 2024. The country is a hotspot for terrorism, with groups like Al-Shabaab targeting foreigners. The risk of kidnapping is extremely high, and the lack of effective governance makes safe travel nearly impossible. Aid workers and journalists face severe risks, and Somalia's infrastructure is virtually non-existent. 3. South Sudan. As the world's newest country, South Sudan continues to grapple with internal conflict and instability. The UK government advises against all travel due to risks of armed violence, kidnapping and ethnic tensions. The ongoing civil war has led to a severe humanitarian crisis, with millions displaced and in need of aid. The high frequency of violent incidents involving foreigners and poor infrastructure further compound the dangers. South Sudan remains one of the most hazardous destinations for UK citizens. 2. Eritrea. Eritrea, one of the most isolated and repressive countries, has become increasingly hostile to foreigners. The UK government advises against all travel due to high risks of arbitrary detention, restricted freedom of movement, and limited diplomatic support. Eritrea's strict visa policies and severe restrictions on freedom of speech create a hostile environment for travellers. The ongoing conflict with Ethiopia and the lack of a free press add to the risks, making Eritrea a no-go zone for UK citizens. And finishing our countdown at number 1, Mali. Mali, with its rising extremism and violence, is the top country UK citizens should avoid in 2024. The UK government advises against all travel due to high risks of terrorism, kidnapping and armed conflict. Extremist groups like Al-Qaeda and AQIM have intensified attacks on foreigners. Weak governmental control allows extremists to operate freely, and the lack of infrastructure further complicates safe travel. The UK's diplomatic presence in Mali has been significantly reduced, and even previously safe areas are now at risk. The ongoing humanitarian crisis and lack of basic services exacerbate the dangers. These 10 countries have become no-go zones for UK citizens in 2024, each presenting severe risks due to conflict, instability or government repression. Always prioritise your safety and stay updated by regularly checking travel advisories. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell icon to stay informed about our latest content. We will see you in the next video.